Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Motivational Rant. I am your host, Dino the Genetic Marvel, and with me, as always, is Crystal Morency. Good morning, Crystal. How are you?
Good morning, and good morning, everybody. I'm okay. How are you doing today, Dino?
I'm good. I woke up really early today, which, I don't know. I think I'm officially getting old because I've been waking up earlier, and I'm like, well, I'm up. I might as well get up. Whereas in the past, I'd be like, nah, fuck it, and go back to sleep. And so I'm just like, well, I might as well be productive, which is really not. You can ask my wife. That is not my MO.
Productivity.
Yeah. I'm usually like,
productivity.
I can wait until tomorrow. Like, this is the thing is, it's such a two-edged sword. Like, I will procrastinate only because I have such faith in my own skills that I know I can do it last minute and still be better than most people. Which I'm like, it's a horrible thing to think, right? But I'm just like,
no, it's great to have self-confidence, Dino, and you're great at that.
But I know, right? And the best part is, like, I remember one comic, he goes, I don't understand why people are so confident. He's like, the most confident person I know is Dino. And he's like, and that makes no sense. I'm like, why? And he's like, I'm just going to move on. And I'm like, that's probably a smart move. Because fuck you. The best part is he is works out constantly. He's very, very lean, takes care of himself very much. And I'm just like, why aren't you confident? I don't understand this. I'm like, listen, from my perspective, I have a lot to offer people. That's the way I think about it. If I have a lot to offer, then I should be confident. But why would my confidence rely upon your perspective? Like, that doesn't, I'm like, what? No. You have a mouth and you use it. Doesn't mean you're like, look, everyone has an asshole and shits. Doesn't mean it's the best shit.
Yep.
It doesn't.
Nope.
It like.
We definitely don't use our words properly. I don't use my words properly.
The majority, we're not taught to do that. And I think we lose. Like,
because we're not meant to explain ourselves. I don't think that we should have to, like, everybody has to explain every little action, every little thought, because everybody feels that it's their right to, have an opinion on it.
But is that the chicken or the egg, right? Like, in other words, are we...
I don't think... Why do we need an answer?
Well,
why do we need to know why the chicken crossed the road? Maybe the chicken just wanted to cross the fucking road.
Yeah,
leave it alone.
Maybe you should stop being so fucking nosy, right? Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But it's like, look, if we could communicate better, then asking a question wouldn't be as big of a deal it is, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, like... Yeah. Does that make sense?
I've just been having a kind of a debate online with this guy, and I don't do that.
That's a bad idea.
But it's about, and it's on one of those, like, closer to the truth, like, it's like the scientific research, but it's the scientist who's trying to figure out the meaning of consciousness and the meaning of religion and the meaning of God, and God is real and blah 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 and all this stuff. And for me, I think it's so simple, and I think I just don't understand it. Same with everyday life. Why do we have to question? I think there's some things in life. Questioning is question what you're about to experience. Experience, as we know, is knowledge, and knowledge comes from, like, consciousness of being aware, being woke. As we always say, like, consciousness is being aware, and consciousness is like your state of consciousness. How aware are you?
Correct.
And how, that's how much you know.
I'm with.
And knowledge comes from experience.
Also
knowledge
true.
Doesn't come from so it's just how much we know. We know somebody else's perception on something. That's not our knowledge. That's not our personal knowledge. We can read it in a textbook, we can study it for years. That's still not, at the end of the day, our knowledge. That's learning somebody else's perception, somebody else's view, somebody else's research, somebody else's ways of going about figuring this out. It's not ours. So therefore, what we think we know about a subject just from researching it, actually we don't know anything about because we haven't experienced it. That's not our period. That's my personal opinion, and I'm going to rant on this because it's just a recent conversation.
Absolutely.
And I don't think there's just some things that we're not meant to question. We're just meant to experience and feel.
So,
And
guys,
the question is what we want to experience.
so we've recorded like 32. This is our 32nd episode, and so it took 32 episodes, and now Crystal is gonna fuck some people up. I'll tell you that right now. That was a perfect. You know what you did. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about what you talk about. Don't think we're not. But it was like, isn't this true? Isn't this true? Isn't this true? Then if all those things are true, then this should be the result. Isn't that true? And you're like, yes, damn it. Good job. Good job. You get a pat on the back. I don't know who's been training you, but I'm sure they're good looking and very dapper. So,
it's the cult. I'm trying to get into my cult leadership. So
I'll take it. That's fine too.
Provide.
I'm in. No problem. That sounds good.
You drink my Kool-Aid, Dino?
No, I don't drink anyone's Kool-Aid but my wife's Kool-Aid. I love my wife. Okay?
No. And then, oh my God. Okay, so everybody, I have a thing for everybody. So I got the ultimate question because everybody knows that children that I babysit, they're of African descent. Like, right, African descent. And so,
we had it, and now she's losing it. Okay, let's go.
No, because listen to this. And when I said it, so the little girl asked me, this was bound to happen. She asked me, why are you white and I'm dark?
Fuck!
And I said, well, yes, yep. Okay, and her dad was standing right there. Okay, so he's waiting for me to answer this question too, because what am I gonna say? And I said the truth, and this is what everybody needs to get in their head and how ridiculous that racism is. Because the truth is, I said your family, your ancestors come from somewhere that's very hot, and the sun is shining all day long. It's really hot there. Where my ancestors come, Ireland, it's shady as hell, so in my genetics, I'm very, very pale because there's no sunlight. And you notice in the summertime, I'm starting to get browner. My skin's starting to turn browner because of the sun, because it gets hot. So therefore, you're dark because you were your family was in the sun more and I wasn't. And that's it. And that's how fucking simple it is. So everything else is just retarded.
Well, okay, so the development of melanin in your skin is specifically meant to cope with exposure to sunlight, so that's true. My only worry is this girl is going to look at a white person and go, you need to get more sun there, whitey, and that may not go the way she planned, because she may be like, hey, I might be a doctor, these people need to know they need to get out in the sun, and that could go both ways. But well, so this is...
I think that's perfect, though, for children. Like, come on. Because it's true, it's basic, and it's something that makes sense.
Here's a question.
It's true, though.
I'm not... Okay. No, I'm not saying it's not true, and I want to challenge you in this way.
It's like Santa Claus did exist. Like there was a certain man for Santa Claus, and that's where the story came from. Therefore, there was a Santa Claus, and families just...
Saint Nick was not a good person. Let's just stop there, okay? Now... Here's a question for you. I thought he
gave presents to orphans.
Well, hold on. No, he didn't. He was not a nice person, okay? So...
Don't tell me the story. I believe in Santa Claus, so fuck off.
I got some candy in a van. You got... Okay. So, can I ask you a question? And this is me... no, I'm not playing the devil's advocate. It's more so just to let's discuss. Could you have asked her, does it matter? You know what I mean? I don't know.
But it's a question, though. You know what I mean?
It's worth answering.
It's
worth answering. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot in that fashion. It's more so that it's a question of what you said is completely accurate. It's truthful. It makes complete sense. Now. And I'm just thinking...
But there's no difference. It's from a different... it's more sunny.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said,
No,
when I'm with you now...
You're right.
I'm getting brown just like you. So therefore, we're the same. Because I was saying, look at how dark I'm getting now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm getting brown just like you. And that's it. And it's the same thing. So therefore, we're the same.
Now...
Now,
on that...
That's it.
And
we
that's
have the same everything.
No, I'm not... And I'm not saying that. It's more so what I'm saying is... What does it matter is that would that...
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to...
No. Sorry, I'm not trying to challenge you in that.
Yeah.
I'm saying do you think that a young person would gain or lose perspective from an even simpler explanation going, why are you white and I'm black? And then saying, does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because we're seeing this a lot. And
but that is good. Fuck, that is really good. And I just
no.
I needed to.
I'm not saying mine's better or not.
It's gonna put on the spot. And,
no.
And nowadays you don't know what to say. And her dad just kind of laughed like behind because it's like you can't really argue with what I said, and it's a great it's just to show that hey, it's that basic. Because it's gonna come up.
Yeah, listen.
Nowadays it's coming up, right?
I bet you they already asked him, and he said, why don't you ask her? Because he didn't know what to say either. I'll bet you that. Because you know what?
Yeah.
Their mom probably would have been like, I'll tell you. But sorry, that was a little bit aggressive, but right? But a dad's going,
that was super racist.
It's a little bit racist, I guess.
Super was. Just like your feminist moments.
It happens. I'm not perfect.
It happens.
But listen,
as he's trying to put down me for saying
now, let's make sure that we don't lose any listeners and people don't lose their shit here. I made that as a mother is not only usually aggressive and tired of answering questions, she is also the most knowledgeable person a child knows. My mom knows everything. Their father, not necessarily, right? So I hope no one was offended by that statement and how I delivered it. It was not intended in that fashion. It was intended to express the exasperation of a mother. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm getting a message going, yo, you racist. Which I just did it again. So
no.
Fuck it. I don't care.
Dino's.
No, I don't. You know what?
But you're not.
I've had it.
So what does this say?
I've maxed out on this kind of bullshit where people are like, "Oh, you talk that."
Your shirt even says, "I suck at apologies, so unfuck."
Yeah, my shirt says, "I suck at apologies. I suck at apologies, so unfuck yourself or whatever." Unfuck you.
We don't even pre-game any of this. This is just what his shirt naturally
32
says.
episodes and I'm the bad guy. That's all right. It was bound to happen. I'm okay with it. Bring it on, people. No.
Yeah, but it started off with me being the bad guy. So
no,
I
don't think so
okay.
at all. No, you know what? That's a hard thing to deal with. And that's the thing is, children want to know, right?
And in the moment, and of course they're curious.
Oh fuck! Can you imagine?
And, you know,
I think about it is bad, and I would have. Yeah, the only thing be like, you should ask your dad that.
Today's and normally I would probably say something like, "Well, what does it matter?" Like, because I would think of it, because I don't think of until recently.
Yeah.
I never thought of us as so different, as people so different, because I don't get the difference.
Absolutely.
I didn't think that, and it wasn't due to privilege, because I keep talking about all these people saying, "White privilege." I'm like, where the fuck was I when that was handed?
It's about my privilege. I had privilege. It was great. It was delicious.
I was beaten just like anybody else.
I did get beat. That's true.
That's why I'm so polite. Like, that's why I'm so well mannered and I work hard. Like, because I know better. Like, know. Well, that's. And it's like, I heard somebody's like. And there was this one comedian I was listening to last night, and he's like, and he said something at an open mic, and it was about like how there's baby carrot water now, and how this was a thing, and he's like, I like my baby carrots, but he's like, but my baby carrot water. I'm like, I'm not that white. Like, I'm not like baby carrot water white.
That's someone who needs to get punched in the face repeatedly. Sorry, that is.
And like. Talking about like rippers and strippers as like exotic dancers and stuff. I'm like, yeah.
Get over it.
That's pretty what.
You know what? It's getting to the point where everyone's trying to be this right. No.
And then I was told not to stereotype, and I was told not to stereotype when I said that out loud to somebody, and I'm like. Okay, listen.
Not the case.
What are you allowed to say? Just somebody write it down for me, and then when I'm not allowed to say the, and then maybe somebody will get to notice. Because they'll be like, the is meaning that you mean this. And I'll be like, can I know all the bad words now? Because I really thought that, like, fuck, shit, cunt was bad words. But apparently, no, those are okay. Cunt's no longer a bad word. We can cunt it up all day long. Like, as long as we don't say Karen, or as long as we don't say, but we can cunt it up. Everybody's a little bit cunty right now.
I'm not sure if I don't know what's happened now, because I'm the one that's eating. You're talking a lot. You're making very reasonable points. I'm now the mean one. It's a weird day. This is a weird day. I'm not really sure how to deal with this. This is, I am out of my comfort zone, people.
Dino, I've been on the deep down in the YouTube thing for a while, I can't. And when I see people, and everybody's like, oh, people are changing during this COVID. And you know what? And I didn't want to get involved in being a COVID talk person, but I'm like, because I've always lived my life like according to random changes and sudden life changes that like destruct your whole entire life, and you have to try to think of a whole new way of thinking and a whole new perspective and stuff, and changing your jobs, changing your living, changing everything. I'm used to that. So for me, I get it. And then when you see people doing it, you think that it's normal. It's like everybody, right? We see somebody and we think that the way we're living our life is normal, and you know, whatever, or we can handle it. So why wouldn't somebody else be able to handle it? But when you even see the majority of society out of their normal life and they're going insane, and you're like, I thought I was supposed to be the one that couldn't handle shit.
No.
Like I thought I was the one that didn't have, but I'm like, you guys seem to not be in touch with fucking reality, like, which is way bigger than what we know.
Listen, there's a quote from Mike Tyson that is so apropos to this, is that, and it's, I've been seeing a lot of it lately. I really hope it's real, because that would piss me off if it wasn't. Where he said,
He's
social,
smart.
well, yeah, he said social media,
You said it.
what did he say? He goes, social media has gotten people too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face.
Yep,
And
that's so true.
honestly,
I said that yesterday. That's so true.
Okay, you know everything today, Crystal, okay? You're the smartest person on the podcast. Fuck it. Okay,
No,
I'm just
I
sit
fell
here and go,
asleep probably to another TED
I look at
Talk.
the camera and go, ooh, hey, everybody. Fucking. Anyways.
I probably fell asleep to another TED Talk. That's all.
But it's true. Listen, and no, but how many times have you seen these people who are protesters, the cops are trying to arrest somebody, and they come up and they're like hitting the cop, and the cop goes back away and pushes them, and they're like, and you're like, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I've done this before, and I'll walk up to somebody who's being a prick, and I'll just start walking forward. And the problem is, me being the size I am.
You can say cunt, you know, it's okay.
No, it's fine.
Just don't say cupcake. Don't say you say cunt, but don't say
Our
cupcake.
bad word is
That would be
cupcake.
offensive.
So what I'll do is I'll walk towards them, and the thing is, being the size I am, you can't stop me. Right? So I'll be like, excuse me, and I just keep on walking, and they're like, you're pushing me. I'm like, excuse me, and I'll say it very loud to make it very clear that I'm asking them to get out of the way, but I just keep on walking.
Yeah.
It makes them kind of freak out, but this is the thing, is that, I'll be honest with you, if I push you and you're like, oh, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you, because I'm saying, if I'm going to get charged, I'm going to make it worth it, and then
you might as well make it worth it.
Then
that's right.
It's not going to be fun. Because if I'm going to be punished, all right, if I'm going to do the crime, fuck it, let's do it. But
fucking right.
You've
got to make it worth it. That's why you don't move a dime bag. That's why you don't move a dime bag.
Half gram? No. We're talking about different substances, that's why. So.
Same thing, though. Same aspect. Dime bag can be weed.
No, dime bag's weed.
Just depends
if
where you're at.
If somebody would said a dime bag, I'm like, that's weed. It's $10 worth of weed. I remember somebody said, I was like, hey,
cool.
I was like, can I get a dime? And he's like, yeah, $15. I'm like, no, it's a dime. That's not. It's a dime. A dime costs a dime. That's how that works. He's like, yeah, well, $15. And I'm like, fuck you, man. I'm like, you go fuck yourself. I kind of miss drugs being illegal. Well, weed being illegal. Kind of. Like in a weird way. I don't know.
Oh, it's just so retarded. I haven't exactly been legal. Actually, when it did become legal, that's when I stopped selling.
And you know what?
Well, because it costs too much to fucking do it and be legal.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, holy. And then what? It's going to be like when they did smoking in bars. You know, you pay for all this patio, you pay for, like, they took the smoking out of bars, and everybody put all this money towards making it accessible, making it convenient, and everything. And they went through getting all these licenses, getting all these permits, putting up all these new structures and all this shit. And just for what?
Yep.
So that way, say with the social distancing, people are going out of their way to go through all these things. They've already taken a hit. They're losing a certain amount of business, all this stuff. And now they got to worry about bylaw officers and everything walking into their establishments and stuff after they've gone through all these different steps. And when you're in a bar or restaurant kind of business and something like that, or any business, you have to be prepared. You're prepared for what's to come. You go off of your quota. You go off of what you made before, like what you know is to come. So if you have to already cut that back at a 60% or whatever, which when you're doing business, if you're a good business person, you've already cut it back to be realistic for yourself, so that way you're not living right to pay for everything. So if you have to cut it back even at 60% capacity and stuff, that's it, you can't take any hits whatsoever. So if you get shut down for one day, lose one day of business, you're fucked. That could fuck you. Like, you know, so like at 60% capacity, losing a day, that's huge. That's huge. Like, so people don't realize that. And it's like, I don't know.
What the fuck is going on today, okay? This is blowing my fucking mind. I'm having a stroke. I think I'm having a stroke or something. I don't know what's happening.
I'm sorry, I have been talking a lot.
No, it's fine.
We're 20 minutes in, and I've said everything.
Listen, honestly, this has been great because I got to eat my little fucking feta and cheese thingy, and it was delicious. And I'm refreshed with my coffee. I'm having a great time.
I might not get a shutdown today.
Wait till I have at it. No. Yeah, I'm gonna get a shutdown, no problem. This is a weird day, people. And you know what the funny thing is? That I was starting going, I wonder what we're gonna talk about today. And I was like, I'm sure something will come up. Apparently Crystal had a whole plan. She is supplanting me as the head of this podcast. I have rights, and they're being just thrown aside. I have become I am now the pretty one. I have to spend my time on Crystal's side going, hello, I'm gonna butter your bread. I don't know.
I only got to smoke a little bit of weed before this. Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
Or just enough. I'm like,
Apparently you smoked something, like you had that like limitless drug this morning, and you're like, guess what? I'll tell you about the physics of black holes, motherfucker.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me.
Okay, so yesterday we said we were going to talk about Bob Lazar and aliens.
Somebody chip me.
Somebody dosed Crystal with. You know what the worst part is?
I've been chipped.
I brought up Limitless, and now that's all I can think of is like, you know what? You're the guy at the end who's like, I'm going to fillet you. You know, that's a good word. It's like, you have your own business, you're very capable, you're profitable, but then you get the drug and you're like, you become a tyrant. Whereas I'm like the guy who is just wasting his life away, but can be very talented. So I get the drug and I'm like, hey, I'm a superstar like everyone thought I should be. But you're like, I'm going to cut you with a chainsaw. And that's what's happened. I think it's fucking hilarious. This is the greatest. It's fantastic.
Thanks.
I think it was a compliment.
I come out the serial killer in the end every time.
She's a little bit.
A bit. I did take that psychopathic test.
Allegedly.
I keep taking that psychopath test, so Dino, and I'm like, fuck. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I have empathy and emotion, I would be a psychopath. Like,
I'll be honest with you.
Because I fit every other aspect.
Listen,
except for the fact that I have heart and empathy and I cry for people and I feel bad for things.
So I've said it before on this podcast where I explained that I've been like, oh, I'm really sorry to people, and they're like, you're not really sorry. And I'm like, okay, well, I know I should feel sorry, and they're like, there it is. Okay, that's what it is, right? And I'll be honest with you. So I've taken those tests, how I want to be perceived and how I want to act, and it comes out stellar. I have taken the test where it was, let's call it first thing in the morning. Let's call that first thing in the morning feeling. And yeah, I failed a couple times, guys. So I'm like, that's not good. I'm going to stop taking those tests because maybe honesty, not the best thing. Honesty isn't necessary for everybody. I think we should embrace the person we want to show everyone. Otherwise, it's not going to go well. It's not something that everyone's going to benefit from because, see,
I really do love everybody. Like, I really do have heart and emotion, though. Like, I watch a commercial and it makes me cry. Like, if it's got, like, because I can feel their, like, emotion and stuff. Like, if I can, if it's something I feel, like, if I'm watching somebody tell a story and it's, you know, and you can feel yourself you can feel your heart. So I know that is the only thing that saved me from being a psychopath. Like, every other click, I clicked off. Other than that,
well, this is,
and I've never like intentionally gone out to hurt somebody like that.
Neither have I.
You know? Like I know I've screwed over people by accident. Like not even screwed them over. Really, it was just.
Yeah.
I just nothing
fine.
for their not best interest.
No,
you know?
but that's their job. You know what? See, there's a very big difference in somebody being impacted by your actions and you maliciously going out there, and that's very important distinction because malicious intent. We see like a lot of people like, okay, so there are entire organizations that go after well-capitalized companies. That means companies that have a lot of wealth in their company, so that if like times like COVID, they would survive. You know, economic changes, they survive. They have resources that they've stocked away to make sure things are good. There are companies that will come in and cut it up into little pieces and sell it off piece by piece to make even more money, and then they have that big pot of cash at the end.
Richard Gere and Pretty Woman.
Exactly.
That's what he did for a living.
Yes, he did. That's exactly what he did. Now, those people are what I like to call garbage, okay? Because what they do is they say, well, it's just business. This is a misnomer. People assume that, well, it's just business, there's nothing personal. Yeah, my pension, that's personal, okay? My being able to survive, that's personal. People's livelihood, that's personal. So you could take your business, shove it up your ass, and you know what? I'll sew it shut for you because you're a piece of shit. So, that's what I'm saying. Now, and that's why that has malicious intent. They know exactly what's going to be the result. Now, if you do something and it results in somebody suffering, obviously that wasn't your intent. That's not what you wanted. I'll be honest. I have had that happen to me, where I did that.
I've definitely apologized. Yeah,
I tried to remedy it. Absolutely, but in the end, it's people's own responsibility to protect themselves too. Right? You can't protect everyone, and sometimes shit does happen, right? That's not an excuse, it's not a good thing, but you have a job to protect yourself too, right? And now Crystal went from a genius, now she's a seal. She's just doing this like,
Nope. No, because how long have I been trying to say? Because we have to pretend like we have to walk on eggshells. If your intention, like I said before, being Judgy McJudgerson just makes you dumb. Like you ate glue or you eat glue, you pick your nose and you eat it after you investigate it for 10 minutes. Like, it makes you dumb. Like, really dumb.
Yeah.
And to have, like, any type of...
when you pick your nose, you make it into a ball and flick it. That's what you do. You don't eat it. That's disgusting.
Stick it under the couch or something. Don't eat it. Like, for fuck's sakes. Like, you know...
Sorry.
Stop eating glue.
Just on a side
although
note,
I did.
Me and my brother and my cousin were sitting in Greece having a coffee, and this little kid who was like a beggar kid was walking by, and he was picking his nose, and he was like he was like just knuckle deep in there, and my cousin goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm working." He goes, "Making little balls?" Like for snot. And the kid's like, and runs away.
Grab a tissue. Like tissue, Kleenex.
I don't give a shit.
Just grab it.
Listen.
Everybody's got to pick their nose. It's got to happen. You rub it. You put it on something that you can dispose of. Even if you don't have a tissue, garbage, of anything, just put it on there. Dispose of it. Everybody's got to pick their nose. It happens. We get boogers. Boogers are something that comes out of our body.
We had some friends come by a little while ago, and we were social distanced in the back, and they had brought over some drinks, so we were having some beers, and we started talking about that. How I'm like, that is one thing that I have done where someone really pissed me off, and I was just like, I'm not proud of this, but it is kind of something to be proud of. So everyone knows what a snot rocket is, okay? You know what a snot rocket is, okay? So someone was extra abrasive to everyone around them, decided that they need two seats on the TTC. So I decided that, hey, it looks like your wallet and important stuff is all right at the top of your purse. So I did one of these. And then I just walked away. Everyone except for her saw and went, and everyone just went, yeah, and just turned around and said, fuck that bitch. And I go, you know what? You deserved every second of it, you piece of dog shit. The look that I'm getting from Crystal is perfect. Because you know what? Listen, people, if you're a piece of shit to everyone, we can't punch you. We can't do anything.
Two wrongs don't make a right, and that's disgusting.
But they do make a goopy wallet, I'll tell you that much.
That makes you the more gross. That just makes you gross. I'm like, that doesn't make you the bigger person. That just makes you gross.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that justice has many forms, and some people, listen, you shouldn't be rude on public transit.
I use a person's toothbrush and don't tell them.
That's much worse.
That's my justice.
You can rinse off a snot rocket, okay? You can't unbrush your teeth.
No, just if it's somebody that I'm intimate with. If it's somebody that I'm intimate with. Because I don't understand the justification behind that. So, like, if we're seeing each other, like, living together, and I can't use your toothbrush, so if you get all mad and in one of your, like, man fits, then I go in the bathroom, I use the toothbrush, and I never tell them.
Just saying, it sounds like you're the kind of lady that wants a kiss after a blowjob. No way. No way, okay? Not okay.
What the fuck? Of course. I don't understand that.
Gross.
I have no idea.
Gross.
What the hell? Okay, but yet it's okay for me to take... No!
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm glad we cleared that up.
So bad.
I'm glad we cleared that up for everyone.
That's not love.
I'm glad we cleared it up.
Love.
Everyone can now know
I never wanted man to
it's gross, and that's what's expected.
It's not gross. That's why you don't talk about shitting and stuff, so that way they still want to eat your ass. That's why you don't talk about that stuff. Like, come on. Like,
I remember.
Don't talk about farting and stuff. Like, you don't do that. You want them to go up in there. So you don't want to be them to have that in their head.
Someone was telling me.
And then kiss you after.
Someone was telling me a funny story. Someone was telling me a story.
If you're in the moment, would you stop and be like, "Don't kiss me. Your penis was in my penis was in your face." You don't do that. Yeah. Don't kiss me. You stop the moment.
Hey, no, you go in for the kiss and then you turn their head sideways and kiss them on the cheek. That's what you do. Go, oh. That's how you do it.
What the fuck? I'll grab their face and be like, we're doing
No way. We're not swapping spit. I know I went in there. Gross. So. Somebody
should have ate more pineapple.
Oh, fuck.
How do you think I feel? I'm doing it out of love. You gotta kiss me back out of love.
Listen, I'm not, you know what? Yeah, I understand, but I'm not gonna change. It's gross. Sorry, that's my opinion. I can have an opinion.
Screw it. And
even
that's
though
fine. And that's cool. Everybody has an opinion.
I am allowed to have an opinion.
You don't love the person that sucks your penis. That's fine.
Fuck you. I will cut you, bitch. Right there. Right in the face, too. I'll make sure everyone knows why you got cut. Okay?
That will make me look so badass.
Right? I know. Anything like, listen, if it's like here, you're like, yeah, but like right here, you're a badass. Oh, yeah. You're like, God, you sacrificed your eye to survive. That's some badass shit. Now,
yeah, I got pretty eyes. I don't know.
I don't know. So do I. I have very light brown eyes, and people say they're very pretty. And I also have very long eyelashes, so I'm gorgeous. You should know.
Super pretty.
No, because I could do this and just. I remember one guy was telling me how he was getting into it with a girl. he was getting into it with a girl, and she kind of backed her ass up to his face, and there was like a little piece of toilet paper stuck there, and it was like right away he was like, ah, and I'm like,
oh,
that's exactly, I get it completely. It's
no, see, there's certain things, it's like, no, that ruins it. That ruins it. That ruins it for me when I see guys being gross about their stuff. I'm like, come on. Like, I don't want to know this. No, come on.
It's true, though. Listen. It's so, listen, I find it hilarious because it's like, well, and he was like, oh man, just ruined everything. And I'm like, but he's like, well, yeah, I still did everything. And I'm like, you're such a gross person. He's like, but it was gross. And I'm like, you still did it. It doesn't matter. You're gross. I don't get it. I don't get it.
But that's why, but too, on the other hand, though, because when you hear a guy like complain like about a one hair around an asshole and you can't stop concentrating on that one hair, then it makes a girl like me super self-conscious because I'm like, shit, do I have any hairs around my ass? Oh, like, are they looking at that? Is that really what they're paying attention to right now? Frig, what's going on with my vagina that's what they're paying attention to right now? Like, Jesus. Like, so, like...
This is why people fuck in the dark.
You know?
This is why people fuck in the dark, people. Victoria?
Because then you hear somebody talk about it, and that's why, like, I grew up around guys, so, like, I don't want, and I've heard the horror stories that they tell, and I'm like, fuck, like, you know.
Victoria actually gets mad at me.
Making sure that I don't hit the water, because I once heard a guy, and when I was 14, my cousin's friend's basement say, it's gross when you can hear a girl pee.
What?
And ever since then, I made
Fuck
sure.
That guy.
So ever since then, well, I know I've been paid to pee on people, so obviously not everybody's grossed out about it. But, I mean, like...
It only took 36 and a half minutes. There you go. Good job, Crystal.
But no, I think it's funny. It was funny.
It is funny.
So it was part of the conversation. I didn't. Sometimes it's still part of my life. So
there's a joke. So
it's not me.
There's a meme going around with Ivanka Trump holding a can of garbanzo beans, and it says, "What's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?" And then it says, "My dad never had a garbanzo bean on his face." Because he did have a chickpea on his face. You're like, it's not nice. It's not. Because the thing is, I'm a very visual person, so all I can picture now is some chick going, ah, and Trump going, blah, 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 blah. You're like, blah, blah, blah.
Well, people are visual people. And that's why, like, they say, like, the most influential speakers and stuff are the people that can place an image in people's heads. Yeah. And that's why it's so impact, because they can give them a vision. Like, this one guy I used to work for, we used to do renovations, and we'd walk into this old house, and he'd be like, Crystal, do you see the vision? And now every time I go about something, I have that in my head, and I'm like, okay, do you see the vision? Do you see, you know, and that's it. And people want to see the vision. That's why product placement and everything, like how we dress, everybody wants to see the vision. You know, everybody wants to see the product. You don't know what a product's like before you buy it.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a store and you've got a selection of things, you don't know. Like unless you research or whatever, but even you still don't personally know. So you go about what you see.
Yeah. No, that's true, and I understand that.
Sometimes what we see is only what we choose to see as well, though. So we have to take that into consideration.
I don't know. Listen, and this is my whole thing is that being able to express yourself and put those images in people's head is a very, very beneficial skill. I think it's very lucrative, and that's the idea. With emotion comes with those feelings, and I think that's one of the things that we're forgetting, how important it is that when we try and connect with people, it's that imagery and that perception that really matters. And all I'm saying is, if you're going to back that thing up, you should make sure you don't have any toilet paper stuck to it, because that is a perception that does not go away.
Yep, exactly. You fuck it up forever. You might as well just walk away, never call him, don't look at him, nothing. It's gone.
Make up a number. He can come up. If this, you know what? It's interesting because you have to admit that so many people will turn around and be like, "Well, what's the big deal?" And you're like, listen, it's a huge deal, and it's so crazy, right? Like,
That's why you don't fuck unless you've painted your toenails for the first time. Like, if it's your first time fucking, you make sure your legs are shaved and your box is shaved and everything. Because that way you leave a good first impression. Paint your toes. Because you have to leave a good first impression.
Well,
And if your panties aren't your best panties, make sure you shove them under the bed real quick. Actually, no. If it's your first time, make sure you're wearing your good panties.
I just wrote down, I'm like, image is important for first impressions, but not worth a filter, okay? Like, listen, you want to present a good image, you know, you're top tier, but you should still be honest. You should not be like, yeah, I don't actually look like this.
But still.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting all
you're still
gutsy
being
up.
yourself. You're just being your best yourself. Because, hey, you want to leave a good first impression and stuff because, hey, that could be your last. You could only have 30 seconds to make an impression on that person.
If that, yeah.
Better make sure to go.
I don't know.
If that, because people are attention span is like 10 seconds.
Oh, have you been finding that?
That's.
Oh, by the way, so we're at 40 minutes now, and I'll be honest, we were supposed to talk about UFOs, and we haven't. So that's some bullshit. Thanks a lot, Crystal.
Oh, right.
Crystal had this whole rant, if you're just tuning in, because she was like, I'm going to talk about everybody and learn. You're going to teach you about business. We went to business school. It was fantastic. Crystal sent me something yesterday that was I'll say it. I'll just say it is I'm dumber for having watched it. I'll be honest with you. It was the worst thing I've ever seen because it was a guy.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was a guy. Okay, this was done by Vice. Okay, Vice has gone downhill. You guys used to be like edgy and like exposing the truth. And now
they're horrible now.
This was okay. It was done like a couple months ago. Okay, this guy who says he is a communication vessel for aliens. What? You heard that? He is a communication vessel for aliens.
Why does he get to be? That's what I want to know.
The best thing, the best part about it, okay, it was a 5.5 minute video. This guy's nuts. Like, this guy is completely fucking wackadoo, okay? The first comment that's been pinned to the top of the comments on YouTube said, if this guy can make it in life, I don't have anything to worry about. And I was like, you know what? That is the perfect point, is that this guy is saying, oh, I talk with aliens and I share their message, and you're like, I'm sorry, what now? You're a communication vessel. Oh, and the shit he said is like, blah, 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 and you're just going. And you know what the worst part is? Vice, I'll be honest with you, I did not like how Vice interviewed him because they totally played into it as if, so they're like, oh, can we ask the alien questions? And the guy's like, yeah, in this realm, absolutely. In this moment in time and space, we will accept questions. And they're like, have you heard of Vice? And you're like, you guys are pieces of shit. You know what? Because you're mocking him, trying to say, oh, we're interested in your story, but you are mocking him. And you know what? That makes you guys pieces of shit, because that's planned. And then they're like, well, what do you aliens think about Brexit? Because this was in England. And you're like, honestly? Really? And you know what? Why would you put out a story like that with the only intent of making fun and mocking this guy who's obviously got some issues, okay? He obviously has some issues, and what, you're gonna mock him and put him on display for the whole world? Good job, Vice. You guys are fucking losers. That's what you are. You're pieces of shit.
So is every every single other media broadcasting network. A lot of them do that.
Well, we're in an entire system above evil.
Because it's our right to judge people, and it's our right to bring them down for criticizing them for something that they want to experience and they want to think.
We all saw the pictures going around recently. CNN saying how, oh, you don't understand the dangers of using hydrochloroquine that the president was using. It's detrimental to your health. These are the reasons why you shouldn't take it. 1 month later, apparently hydrochloroquine is good at minimizing the effects of the virus and how long your recovery time is. So which one is it? You're the news. The news should not be media and bias. No, I'm sorry. You are now, if news has a bias towards any individual person and not just the truth, you are now media and you are a talk show. That's what you are. You are just a show of people just blah, 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 blah. And this is, so last week Rogan had on 2 guests. I'm gonna watch the movie that they were promoting. It's called Hunt for the Skinwalker, I think. It's about Skinwalker Ranch, which I'm excited to watch because I really like that kind of stuff. And they go through, and this is the problem, is that they had interviewed, Joe Rogan had interviewed Bob Lazar a while ago, which Bob Lazar was one of the first people to expose what people refer to as Area 51. But in actuality, he explained that it was S4. S4 was essentially a secret facility, and the best part is that Bob Lazar, this is what I love and what makes him actually believable, is Bob Lazar could give a shit about aliens. Doesn't care.
Yep.
People are like, are aliens real? I don't know, I never saw any fucking aliens. And the one thing he said, and after all this time, he goes, I remember I walked by an office through like one of those little office windows, and I saw something small in a chair, and there were 2 scientists dealing with it. I don't know what I saw. It could have been a doll, it could have been, who knows?
Was it in the office?
Yeah, that was the alien that he was like, literally, he saw it just glancing in while he was walking by.
Yeah, I know that.
It was office room, it doesn't matter. But he said, he goes, I don't know what it was. I can't
that's right.
I can't validly. Goes, what I can say though was we were dealing with this technology, and it was my job and another scientist's job to try and reverse engineer it and figure out how it works. And he went through it, and that's you're going, you know what? I can believe that. And of course, this because Joe Rogan had done a show. Sorry, go ahead.
Who are we to question? Like, why did if we didn't experience it, we can't judge his experience or what he thought. Like, that was what he's just saying his experience and what he thought of it. That was it.
But his entire life got railroaded, right? He was discredited by people said no, he never worked anywhere near here.
I know, it's fucking retarded.
The places that he got his accreditation, they're like, nope, he was never here. Like literally, he got railroaded and just taken apart piece by piece. And the funny thing is that
fucking sucks.
Well, but now you have the United States government who's released a bunch of videos showing that there are, and this is the thing. A lot of times people are like, "Oh, it's aliens." You're like, "No, unidentified flying object." That's what it is. It's you don't know what it is, and essentially these government documents show that there were unidentified flying object that. They don't know what it was, and we don't have any technology that compares to what these things are doing. And, you know, it brings around the interesting part about what you said earlier.
Because we do our research and everything for all the wrong purposes, I feel.
Well, yeah.
I feel that we question the wrong things and we do our research towards the wrong.
That's correct.
We always try to, we research to debunk something. We research to, like, somebody else's opinion on something. We research to figure out their opinion. Like, that's our thing.
Well,
it's like,
people
that's
want
pretty much what we do. Why did that person think of that?
Yeah.
Why did Einstein create, like... I don't know. Like, so I think it's meant to experience. Like, what are you going to create? What have you done? What are, you know, like, what is your thoughts and opinions? Like, stop trying to figure out somebody else's, right?
Well, because we're focused on that inquirer, like the inquirer type mentality, where we want an expose. We want something to be revealed. We want excitement, whereas we're not willing to do the legwork.
Answers first,
but we're not. No, we're not seeking answers
for our own opinion.
We're seeking drama in the form of someone falling or we knew you were lying this whole time. That kind of shit. Whereas
justification of our own thoughts,
basically, or our own suspicions, right? I knew you were lying.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's it.
And the opposite being that we are unwilling to invest the appropriate time in discovering knowledge. We want the expose. We want people to, that clickbait. That's why it's so good. Is that, did you know what kind of Care Bear you might be? You'll be surprised. You know what?
Oh, I love that shit.
I know. Everyone loves it, and that's what makes it fucking retarded. Yeah. Oh, it hurts my brain.
That's how I learned about the Statue of Liberty. I went in deep about all the depths of the Statue of Liberty because it was some clickbait thing. It was like, you know, and it was. But it's not that and that can be like all the stuff that people have turned into negative could be very, very beneficial if done right. Yeah. Like, I love commercials. I love them. I think if done right, like, it can be beneficial. It can be great for a company. It is good to do, and it is good for people to see, but for the right purpose. You know, like, I think all these things were taken with good intent. Like, not too much was made with bad intention. You know, like, there is, but the intent, no, but there is, but that comes from somewhere. Yeah. It's used for bad intention a lot. Same with the fucking Statue of Liberty. Yeah. You know, it's only to have it because it wasn't true of what its meaning was most supposed to be. Somebody takes somebody's meaning because they don't understand their perspective, they don't see their vision, they don't know exactly where they want to go with it, so they take it and they take their own spin on it. They put their own spin on it. Yeah. And that's it. I don't know where I was going with that now. Crystal's
no,
back.
that's.
You're joking.
We were lucky while it lasted, and I wouldn't change it for a thing, Crystal. I loved it. It was fantastic. That's what happens when the dope runs out, people. Everybody gets...
But he feels so good that I'm back, because now he can put on his big boy pants.
Just in time for our end. Just in time. I was about to make you do the motivation for today.
He's proud to drink a Star Douche today.
Holy crap.
It's like, that's damn right I'm a Star Douche.
Came in handy. All I had to do was drink the whole time. You wouldn't shut the fuck up. It makes sense. It's so mean. It's so mean. I don't know why.
See? And who's the mean one he says on this thing all the time?
Crystal. Definitely
Apparently.
Crystal is the meanest person I know. Her and my wife. The meanest. Hands down. Hands down, the worst people I know.
So we're the only ones that don't kiss your ass, that's why.
Also true. Also true.
We're not intimidated.
Which is bullshit. I could take you both on with one hand and still beat the living fuck out of both of you. But you guys are like, you would never, because you're a big teddy bear. No, I'm not. I'm not. I will happily rip your arms off and beat you to death with them, but apparently these two women have
with his
no
pretty little dimples.
I will see you in hell, woman. I will see you in fucking hell, you bastard. How about that?
I'm going to heaven. I saw the light. I saw the light.
Bullshit. It was the light of fire, people. She's going to hell. Hell doesn't exist. Heaven doesn't.
I don't believe in hell anyways.
Neither does the Catholic Church. Didn't you know? It's true. It's just not in the Bible, people. It's not.
That doesn't mean it's not true.
Sure it does. Only the Bible is true history. No, it's not true. Come on.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, Dino?
That is. The world was built in 7 days. Go fuck yourself. How about that? The whole universe, 7 days, asshole. Do you have anything to say otherwise? No. Oh, you're science?
We don't know. We don't know. I don't know.
I was there. I've lived this whole time.
I'm grateful for however I got here, and I'm blessed with the. I'm happy.
She got here by farts.
And I'm very grateful and thank you.
I've farted like 7 times during this podcast, I'll be honest with you. I've been farting all morning, and they haven't stunk or anything, which is great. This is my warning sign. If I've been farting a lot and then suddenly it stinks, I'm like, I gotta shit right now. Like, something bad's gonna happen. That's how we're gonna end this today. Let's do our little motivation.
That's your motivation.
Now that we talked about my farts. So, I'll tell you what happened. This morning, I was driving to Starbucks, and on the road, 2 of the 3 lanes of the main road getting off the highway and into the Starbucks, 2 out of the 3 lanes are closed. Now, what I said to the girls at the Starbucks this morning, I said, by the way, you should know that 2 of the 3 lanes on this road are blocked. So while you may have delayed traffic coming in, there's a good chance that most people are going to be pieces of shit. And she looked at me and she's like, yeah, we're used to it. And
she works at Starbucks.
And I felt so bad. I felt so bad. And the motivation for today is, guys, kindness costs you nothing. And if you look down and treat a retail worker with anything but respect, you should be worried that I'm going to find you and punch you right in the fucking mouth. Because you are worse than any person in the world. These people are just trying to make a living. And one thing I had somebody talk down to me when I was a waiter. And I said, I am here to serve you, but I am not your servant. And those are two very different things. And people make this assumption that, well, if you're a server or if you're a retail service representative, that you're their servant. And even if that were the case, that still does not allow you to treat people without decency and respect. I'll tell you right now that if you don't treat people with decency and respect, expect to get the shit kicked out of you. And you have every deserving point for getting the shit kicked out of you, because you are treating people not as your peers, but as people that are beneath you. And as we've discussed many a times, that we are all human beings and all deserve kindness and respect from each other. We can have situations that cause us to gain frustration and anger, and that is okay. It is not okay to take that anger and frustration out on the people that are around you and people who, for all intents and purposes, are trying to help. Take the time to take a breath and remember that after all is said and done, your coffee, your pack of smokes, your t-shirt that you're buying wherever is not allow you to treat someone not as your peer and human. All it does is make you in need of their assistance, not the other way around. Take the time to think on that perspective, because we're going through change that will significantly impact you as a person if you don't treat people with respect, and you will not like the result. Take the time, think about it, take a breath, treat people better. I think that's all I gotta say. Crystal,
Amen.
where can everybody find you?
Preach, brother. Everybody can find me at Simply Me on YouTube and Morning Motivational Rant on YouTube as well with Dino, and Crystal Morency on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And Mr. Dino, Lord Dino. Bum, 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 bum.
So I just love that I said something inappropriate and now you did too. It's great. This is where we're getting taken off.
What did I say?
Preach, brother. It's good. So
What was that, though?
that makes it even better. Okay. So guys, you can find me, Dino the Genetic Marvel, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
No.
Facebook, I have a fan channel as well. Morning Motivational Rant. We are doing videos on YouTube. We have started uploading onto Anchor, so we are available on Anchor, Pocket Cast, and Spotify now under Morning Motivational Rant. I am going to try and post links on our the Morning Motivational Rant fan page on Facebook is also up and running. So we do post when there are new episodes available. I'm going to try and put the links in there. It's a little bit long, so I don't want to fuck with people, but it is going to be all there. So just bear with me because I have sausage fingers. It doesn't really work. But guys, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, guys.